Muni set to cut service on 5 bus lines in San Francisco this weekend because of budget problems.
ABC 7 News reporter Tim Johns has been following the story. He joins us live in the studio with the details now. Tim.
Yeah, Julie and Larry, SFMTA tells me those cuts will save about $7 million. But with the agency facing deficits of around $50 million this fiscal year and $322 million in the next, more severe restrictions could be on the way. Some Muni riders in San Francisco will have fewer options starting this weekend. On Saturday, the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency will cut service along 5 bus lines, consolidating 2 of them and ending the other 3 routes along Market Street.
We looked at these routes in particular because they had plenty of service redundancies in place.
Michael Roccaforte is an SFMTA spokesperson. He says the agency's $50 million budget deficit this fiscal year is the reason for the cuts. But the service reductions weren't popular with the commuters we spoke with along those routes Wednesday.
Frustrated, it'll take another 20 minutes of my day, so it's irritating.
Lauren Hart tells us she's been taking the same route to and from her job for the past 6 years. She says she's already trying to plan for how her commute will change next week.
I work at General Hospital, and it doesn't get me near as close. It dropped me right off, and I'm going to have to figure out a different route now.
These service reductions could just be the start, not just for Muni, but also for transit agencies around the Bay Area. They received a lifeline during the pandemic as government funding helped support them. But that money is set to run out at the end of this year. For SFMTA, that means their budget deficit exploding from $50 million to as high as $322 million by the 2026 fiscal year. Without additional funding, Roccaforte says the agency's service would be decimated.
What that looks like could be lines being suspended, huge reductions in service frequencies, meaning the bus isn't arriving as often. And when it does arrive, we could see bigger crowds leading to riders being passed up.
In order to address that problem, State Senator Scott Wiener is calling on voters to pass a regional sales tax measure to help fund local transit.
We are working on legislation to authorize a regional funding measure for November 2026.
Now, if the measure is passed by voters, the sales tax would raise about $500 million a year. I'm live in the studio. Tim Johns, ABC 7 News.